Om Sri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha. Valmiki Ramayana, Balakanda, Chapter 43. Shiva catches the Ganges on his head. Summary. Ganga descends to earth by the extraordinary effort of Bhageeratha. Shiva agrees to the alighting of Ganga on his head, and from where she is released into a lake called Bindusarovar, and from there she flows in 7 courses. On land, Bhageeratha ushers her up to netherworld dug by his ancestors, where heaps of ashes of his grandparents are there, and she enters accordingly to inundate these mounds of ashes, according salvation to the souls. Chapter 43 in detail. When the god of gods, Brahma, left from there, Bhageeratha stood on the tip of his big toe, praying for the mercy of Lord Shiva for 1 year. While the tip of his big toe pressurized the earth, thus Vishwamitra continued his narration about Bhageeratha's effort to bring Ganga to earth. On completion of 1 year, he who is venerated by all worlds, the consort of Uma and the god of animals from insects to humans, that god Shiva revealed himself and spoke this to the king. O best one among humans, I am delighted with your unwavering effort, and I will fulfill your cherish. I will therefore sustain Ganga, the daughter of king of mountains, by my head. Afterwards, she, who is reverenced by all the worlds, and who is the elder daughter of Himavanta, that Ganga, assuming an unbearable form and an insupportable rapidity, they say, then plunged from the sky onto the auspicious head of Shiva. She, who is an extremely unendurable river, that goddess Ganga even speculated, saying to herself, "Let me enter netherworld, indeed, whisking Shiva with my streams." Understanding her egotism, God Shiva is infuriated, and then on his part, that three-eyed God Shiva, though thought to pent her up in the tufts of his head hair. And O Rama, she, that holy river Ganga, swooped down into the cavernous curls of matted hair tufts on the holy head of God Shiva, and she became a detainee in them. Then she strove hard in one way or another to reach the earth. That Ganga is rendered incapable, as she could not gain access for an outlet from any edge of the coils of matted hair tufts of Shiva. Hence she is held there in durance, while goddess Ganga whirled round and round in the coils of tufts alone for many number of years. And when Ganga's emanation from those coils is intangible, Bhageeratha again firmed up in a marvelous penance in the matter of her descent to earth. O Rama, the legatee of Raghu, with that asceticism of Bhageeratha, God Shiva is very much delighted, and thereupon he has also released Ganga, aiming at Bindu lake in Himalayas. While God Shiva released Ganga into Bindu lake, 7 streams have emerged out of it, and thus 3 auspicious Gangas with holy waters have cruised eastwards, which are known as Haladini, Pavani, and Nalini. Also thus Sukakshu, Sita, and the excellent river Sindhu are the other 3 rivers which streamed to the westward direction with their holy waters. Of them, the 7th Ganga flowed towards the path of Bhageeratha's chariot, and that great resplendent and kingly sage Bhageeratha, sitting in a divine chariot, moved ahead, and even Ganga followed him. Thus Ganga came from heavens onto Shankara's head, and from there onto the earth, and there on earth her waters advanced with a tumultuous sound, advancing them. The earth then wearily shone forth with the shoals of fishes, schools of tortoise, and scores of dolphins and other aquatic beings that have already fallen and that are still falling in step with the rush of Ganga. Later, they, the gods, sages, Gandharvas, Yakshas, and the assemblages of Siddhas, have then seen there the soup of Ganga in that way from heaven to earth with curiosity. Some of the gods with aircrafts that are like cities in their shape and sizes, and some with horses that are prancing, and some with best elephants that are staggering at the very sight of plunging Ganga, have entered the firmament at that place. The gods whose animation is unlimited and who are anxious to see the plunge of Ganga have come together in assemblages, which plunge is a highest marvel in the universe by a better degree of her illimitable animation than that of gods who came to see, and even favorable to the world in according water and quiet souls, which those gods cannot do. The glitter of ornaments of hosts of gods who are in stampede made the cloudless sky to shine as if it is with hundreds of suns. At that time, with the falling and rising of scores of dolphins and reptiles, even with the wriggling fishes, the sky became flashy as if flashes of lightning are strewn over it, spattered innumerably with the whitish froth from the splashes of Ganga, and stippled with the flights of swans. The sky is as though overspread with silver clouds of autumn. Somewhere Ganga is coursing violently, elsewhere seriously on zigzag lands, somewhere else straightly on uniform lands, elsewhere slopily in canting lands, somewhere gushingly in craggy lands, and somewhere else her cruise is leisurely in flat lands and tardily in uplands. Somewhere her water repeatedly knocking against her own water in recurrently billowing upwards only to make nosidive onto earth. That impeccable and immaculate water of Ganga then became outstanding as it has flounced down from heaven primarily onto the head of Shankara, and there from it has coasted down onto the earth, and asserting that the water as holy because it descended touching the body of Shiva, that is, through the head of Shiva, the assemblages of sages, Gandharvas, and those that are residents on the plane of earth have sipped that water at that place. Also those that have fallen from heaven onto the surface of earth by some curse or the other, they too became pure on taking head bath in the water of Ganga. When sins are washed away with the hallowing water of Ganga, they again transited skywards and then obtained their own celestial worlds once again. With her splendorous water, people are blissful, and on taking dip baths in Ganga, they are totally removed of the stains of their sins, and they lived blissfully ever after. In this way, the great resplendent and kingly sage Bhageeratha, sitting in a divine chariot, continuously moved ahead, and Ganga continually followed him at his behind. O Rama, all of the gods, along with the assemblages of sages, ogres, monsters, demons, and even great reptiles, with kinnaras and gandharvas, with best yakshas, and even serpents and apsaras, have delightfully moved after Ganga, who is following the chariot of Bhageeratha. And why they, in fact, all of the aquatic beings have followed Ganga. In whichever direction King Bhageeratha has advanced, that glorious river Ganga, who is the prominent river among all the rivers, and the complete obliterator of sins, has also moved at his behind in that direction. While in flow, she started to completely inundate the field of Vedic ritual belonging to the great souled sage Jhanu, who is of marvelous deeds and who is presently an officiator of an ongoing Vedic ritual. But on knowing her pride, O Raghava, that sage Jhanu has become irritated and causing an extreme marvel, it drank all of the water of Ganga, Thereupon the gods, along with Gandharvas and sages, at that extremely marvelous feat of sage Janu, are highly astounded. And then they started to worship the ablest human and great souled sage Janu, and even offered for the daughterhood of Ganga to that high souled sage Janu. That greatly radiant and godly sage Janu is then delighted and released Ganga from both of his ears. Therefore, Ganga became the daughter of sage Janu, and she is also renowned as Janavi after the name of that sage. Even though Ganga again proceeded, moving behind the chariot of Bhageeratha, and reached the ocean, therefrom she had to wend her way to netherworld, once dug by the sons of Sagara, only to accomplish the mission of Bhageeratha, namely drenching the ashes of Sagara's sons. Even kingly sage Bhageeratha, making every effort, introduced Ganga to netherworld. But on seeing his grandparents rendered to ashes, he has become sad. O Rama, the best of Raghu's dynasty, then Ganga inundated that mound of ashes of Sagara's 60,000 sons, by which those souls obtained heaven. While the sins of souls are cleansed with the water of Ganga, that Vishwamitra continued his narration. Thus, this is the 43rd chapter in Balakanda of Valmiki Ramayana, the first epic poem of India. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.